All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Harakah, Quadash. Double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. The house of David is rising. So let's check this out, this clip here. UFO retired Navy commander described his sighting in 2024. And this is a former retired Navy commander. More credible witnesses keep on coming out, keep on popping up. And let's check out this clip and then we're going to hit some precepts, man, because I think there was a reminder I had last night to stay on these UFOs, stay on them, which the brothers are doing, and also my own personal sightings for my eyes only. And one last night and the one couple of nights before that, where I just came out and just come out for a little bit of breeze and fresh air, nice clear night, and I was just looking up, saw the chariot, you know, and I said, you know, you got nights where you come out for 1 minute, you might see one, but within 5 minutes, if you look up, you're gonna probably see a chariot, probably. And this was within about a minute. And actually when I just come out, I just step out the yard, it was already going over my head. This was last night and a couple of nights before that. The chariots already going over your head. And then I said, is it going to beam up? And it's almost as if they can read your mind, man. You know, it's almost as if they can read your mind. But like I used to always film them. Sometimes, you know, you just get the sense that they're for you. It's for your eyes only. And so as it was going over, I said, is it going to beam up? And as I said that, not long after I said that, another one comes out of nowhere and bing, beams up, bright as ever, then goes back into the background, into the night. So is that a reminder for me to stay on these chariots? Let's get on with this one, man. I like this one. I like to do videos on chariots anyway. So we got more credible witnesses coming out. Here's a retired commander. He's gonna go into his you can call it testimony. Without further ado, what does it say here? Retired Navy Commander David Fravor on the unidentified object he saw flying in the sky during a training mission. Let's check it out.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the SA. My God.
These 3 videos, released by the Department of Defense, have changed the way many people see what we can't explain.
The moment you mention UFO, immediately what comes to mind are little green men, tinfoil hats. That's not at all what we're dealing with.
In 2004, off the coast of California, an F-18 Super Hornet training exercise was suddenly interrupted by a call over the radio that would come to define Commander David Fravor's career.
You know, there's certain things in your life where you just remember in vivid detail what happened. And that's one of them, because it's honestly the strangest, most obscure thing I've ever seen flying.
Fravor, the commanding officer of the Navy's Strike Fighter Squadron 41, and another F-18 scrambled to check out an unusual radar blip 80 miles off the coast.
So as we're looking around, the backseater in the other airplane comes up and says, "Hey, Skipper, do you see?" And before he says it, I'm like, "Dude, you see that?" As soon as we look down, we see the whitewater, and then we see this little white tic-tac. It's pointing north-south, and it's just going forward, back, left, right.
It's just bouncing around?
Yeah, like a ping pong ball.
What was its shape? What was its... what did it look like it was made out of?
Like a perfectly smooth white tic-tac. Or for people that need a bigger visualization, a giant propane tank.
Fravor says the F-18s began circling, Fravor at 20,000 feet, and the so-called tic-tac only about 50 feet above the surface of the water.
And I say, "Hey, I'm going to go check this thing out." And the other pilot stays and says, "Hey, I'm going to stay up high." And then it starts coming up at us. We call it 2-circle fight, but it's coming up, I'm coming down. So it literally is aware we're there. There's no doubt, because it mirrored me. So here it is. I cut across, and I get to about half mile.
Yeah, the chariots, we know that they're interactive now. They toy. And the brothers, Elder Apostle Tahar done that video on how that over in Peru, the Peruvians are under it's almost like they're under some scare threat. If it's not some kind of hoax, saying demons, 7-foot looking aliens, they call them aliens, demons or angels, whatever you want, however you want to describe them. Angels of the Lord are just right hand side angels. Demons are left hand side angels. So over in Peru now, they're saying there's aliens, or they're being terrorized right now. If it's not a hoax, as Elder Apostle Tahar said, if it's not a hoax. And there's been other incidences over in Brazil. There's been incidences from as far back as I remember. Me watching these documentaries on videos, they've been very, very interactive. And the scriptures talk about the eyes of the Lord, man, are over a sinful kingdom. We're going to hit some of the precepts, but let's just finish watching this, because as he's saying here, David Fravor, the retired commanding officer, he's saying there was toying. He's describing his object that he saw, his experience, or his what he saw flying over his training, or it being interactive with them, scrambling at them, as if they can read his mind. And I said at the beginning of the video, it's almost as if they can read your mind. No, it's not almost. They do read your mind. They read your mind. When I come out, I looked up. I said, is he going to beam up? And as soon as I said that, another chariot came out from behind, from nowhere, and beamed up, and then went into the background again. So yeah, they do read your mind.
Of it, so I'm about halfway across the circle. As it gets in front of me, it just goes poof, and it's gone. And it's gone like that fast.
What do you mean, poof, it's gone?
I mean exactly that. Like, it's 1 minute it's there, and the next second it's like magic trick. So I asked the other airplane, I said, hey, do you guys see that? And they're like, it's gone, it just disappeared.
When you saw this kind of performance, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
What the hell was that?
Once back on the carrier, Fravor's team told the next crew what had happened, and that crew took off ready to capture something on camera. And this is what they saw. I guess the biggest question is, what do you think it is?
I honestly don't know. I don't think that we have developed that technology. I don't think we developed it on this planet. We still, to this day, have no idea what it was, what we saw, what we chased, what we engaged. It was pretty spectacular.
A report from that incident eventually made its way to the Pentagon and crossed the desk of Luis Elizondo, the former director of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program.
In essence, what that program was an investigatory body looking at what we call the UAP, probably in the vernacular, it's better known as the UFO phenomenon. The bottom line here is that over the past several decades, we in the Department of Defense and the intelligence community have been noticing things in our airspace that don't have wings, they don't have cockpits, they don't have even an obvious sign of propulsion like an engine, and yet still they're able to defy the natural effects of Earth's gravity.
In 2020, the Pentagon declassified 3 videos, the Tic Tac video and 2 others filmed on the East Coast in January of 2015. Other countries have made similar public disclosures. Also in 2004, the Mexican Air Force confirmed this video was shot by one of their pilots near the coast of Baja California. In 2014, the helicopter from the Chilean Navy locked onto an unidentified object emitting what appeared to be some sort of gas or vapor. Both governments have said they investigated but couldn't determine what the objects were. To those like science writer Sarah Scholes, clipped black and white videos always leave a lot to the imagination.
To me, the most interesting thing about the videos is how little information is in them. All we have are these, 30 seconds or a minute of something totally decontextualized. And so everybody kind of gets to think whatever they want to think about them because we don't actually have enough information to form any kind of conclusion, which is UFO's favorite space to live in, the muddy, fuzzy space.
But will 2021 be the year all of that changes because of COVID-19?
Hidden among the many pages of the COVID-19 bill is this mandate to produce a report on unidentified aerial phenomena. What's different this time is that the military is kind of talking about them very explicitly in terms of threats. It's not like the Pentagon's deal to call things aliens, but that's kind of the angle they're coming from.
If there is a foreign adversary, let's say Russia or China or anybody else, who happens to have this technology and they've had it for decades, and we in the United States have somehow been strategically leapfrogged in our technology, we've got a big problem on our hands.
Officially, the clause attached to December's COVID-19 relief bill, added by the Senate Intelligence Committee, calls for the military and FBI to brief committee members on what they know about UAPs within 180 days of the bill's passing. The kind of top-level briefings Elizondo says he's given before.
The three options are, is it our technology? Is it for an adversarial technology or someone else's technology? Or is it something completely different? We're 99% sure it's not foreign adversarial technology. So that only leaves really one other option. It's someone or something else.
Are these three videos the only videos that you know of that the United States government has that shows unidentified aerial phenomena?
No, absolutely not. These are probably some of the least compelling videos. In some cases, you know, we've seen these things 50 feet away from the cockpit.
And we...
Now you're talking. They've seen these things. These are not the only videos they've had. They said they've seen these things 15 feet away from the cockpit. So now you can get a little sense of why they're so shook, having all these briefings and conferences on the UFOs, because they've seen them with their technology. And that's the Mossad doing, he's revealing himself. That's what I might entitle this video, I don't know, something to that effect. Now this is getting heavy now. This is getting heavy. This is Luis Elizondo, this former, he was a former Pentagon worker. He used to deal with a lot of the intelligence as well in the Pentagon. This is getting heavy.
Shows unidentified aerial phenomena?
No, absolutely not. These are probably some of the
that you know of that the United States government has that shows
else.
Are these three videos the only videos that you know of that the United States government has that shows unidentified aerial phenomena?
No, absolutely not. These are probably some of the least compelling videos. In some cases, you know, we've seen these things 50 feet away from the cockpit.
And when you're talking about something that is 50...
So the name of my channel is The Real Macabre, and the reason why I named it that, which a brother kind of hinted, he hinted to me to call my channel, my YouTube channel, The Macabre, meaning vehicle or swift vehicle or chariot, swiftly, something to that effect in the Hebrew. So that's why I entitled my channel that, because I always every day without fail, especially when I was interested in coming to the camp, I was always, the most I was letting me always see the chariots. He was opening up my eyes to see chariots, swift vehicles of the Lord. So that's why I entitled my my channel that, and I'm glad I did, because they're revealing themselves, man. Check this out. I like this. This is getting heavier and heavier. Which I did say we're gonna start to see them. They are gonna get closer. I said that from the time I started to come to the camp. I started to say that we're gonna start to see them more and more.
50 feet away. I mean, what could they tell?
One more time. Away
from the cockpit.
And when you're talking about...
No, another time.
No, absolutely not. These are probably some of the least compelling videos. In some cases, you know, we've seen these things 50 feet away from the cockpit.
Oh, 50 feet.
And when you're talking about something that is 50 feet away, I mean, what could they tell from being 50 feet away?
With all due respect, Gotti, I no longer work for the United States government in that capacity. So I want to be clear that I don't want to speak on behalf of the U.S. government, and I also want to give the government time to do what it needs to do regarding this data.
But in science, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
If the UFO field wants to be taken more seriously by scientists, I think they will kind of have to move away from the types of evidence that have historically been held up as adequate, like individual sightings, because the scientists can't really do anything with the story. They need data.
Look, I'm not a UFO guy. My background, I'm a former counterintelligence special agent. I was asked to do a job, which I did. However, it was my understanding and the conclusions that I came to, and by the way, every other person in the program unanimously came to the realization that these things are indeed real. And it's getting increasingly harder to keep the cat in the bag.
Oh, it's getting heavy. Everybody he came across and unanimously came to admit that these things were real. This thing is getting heavy, man. One more time. And then we're going to hit some precepts and end off the video.
And by the way, every other person in the program unanimously came to the realization that these things are indeed real. And it's getting increasingly harder to keep the cat in the bag.
Do you ever think that you're going to see something like that again in your lifetime?
I don't know. I look up a lot. I mean, I'm not lying. On a clear night, you just look up and wonder. Yeah, I'll wonder for the rest of my life. I think everyone does.
Enough said. Enough said, Akim. It's getting harder to keep the cat out of the bag. Out of the horse's mouth, or out of the whistleblower's mouth. He said that. It's getting harder to keep the cat out of the bag because every other person has come to admit unanimously that these things are real. So we've seen them 15 feet or 50 feet within the closer to their with the technology they got. They said they've seen them within 15 feet, 50 feet, and so they've seen the sizes of them. They've seen the parameters, the diet, the length, the widths, the shape of them, the colors, the material. They've seen it, man. So the eyes of the Lord is upon the sinful kingdom. Let's hit some precepts, man. End of the video with some of those precepts. Zechariah chapters 5 and 4 says, Then said he unto me, This is the curse. Yeah, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. Shall I zoom in? I'll zoom in a little bit. See a bit better. That goeth forth over the face of the earth for everyone that stealeth. Right, because Babylon has been known to steal. They steal everything that they come into contact with. They can't. They're kleptomaniacs. If you don't know the meaning of the word, you can look that up. A kleptomaniac. Look it up, man. They're kleptomaniacs. They can't keep them hand to them damn self. Keep everything that comes into sight. Right? So these are the thieves today. Babylon over there in America. Babylon, born Babylon, and over here and other places too. Right? The mother of Babylon, and wherever they are, there's wickedness taking place. Wherever the E's are, the so-called white people, the Edomites are, there's wickedness taking place. They are the border of wickedness. And there's only for stealing, robbing, thieving, killing and destroying taking place. Right? Because that's them. They don't come but to steal, to kill and destroy. John chapters 10 and 1 talks about them. Yeah, stealeth shall be cut off. So everyone that stealeth shall be cut off on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. So this is the curse that goeth forth every face off the face of the earth. This is the curse. This is the UFOs, what they call UFOs or UAPs, unidentified flying objects, or unidentified aerial phenomenon. UAPs, UFOs. So the Most High is putting them over right now. Is what you call spying out the land, and I checked out that word. I checked it out earlier. Right, I looked it up. There's a couple of precepts on it. It occurs 44 times in 6 verses in the KJV. Because every time we went to take over a land, which this is the final time, we're going to take back this land, and it's going to be destroyed by the intercontinental ballistic missiles, the hypersonic missiles, and Yahushua, and the angels, and the 144,000, right? Because right now we're spying out the land, we're building a case. This is in Numbers. I read that one yesterday, Numbers 13 and 16. You also got Judges, right? Judges chapters 18 and 2 goes into that, how we spied out the land. You also got Judges 18 and 17. This was and 5 men that went to spy out the land went up and came to thither and took the graven images and the offered and the terrapin and the molten images, and the priest stood in the entry of the gate with the 600 men that were appointed with weapons of war. We always spied out the land. Have you got another case here? So this case was also you had and the children of Dan sent of the family 5 men, their coast men of valor, from Zihora and from Issachar, to spy out the land. That's what I want. And to search it. And they said unto them, go search the land. Who, when they came to Mount Ephraim, to the house of Micah, they lodged there. So you got a couple of incidents here. So it occurs 44 times in the Bible, 6 verses. And we've got another case here, one of my favorites, Joshua 2:1. And Joshua the son of Nun sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy, secretly saying, go view the land, even Jericho. Right, you know what happened with Jericho? The walls of Jericho was blown down, right, by the men marching around the walls of Jericho with the trumpets. And they went and came unto an harlot's house named Rahab, and lodged there. Okay, that's all I wanted right there. They spied out the land. And right now, that's what's taking place. The Most High is sending his angels, his chariots, as he always does before he destroys a land, a city, or Babylon, right? Babylon the Great. City, a land, a kingdom. He always sends spies to spy out the land. So right now, let's bring out this one here. Let's bring this one out. Amos chapters 8. Let's check it out. Let's bring out Amos chapters 8. Go back. What did I do here? What did I just do? Oh, I flicked out of it. It's okay. I'm back. Amos chapters 9. Chapters 9. So we're going to read this. We could end with this one. Amos chapters 8 and 9 says, behold, the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom, and he will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that he will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord. That's what I wanted. The eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom, and he will destroy it from off the face of the earth. The eyes, who are the eyes today? The eyes are the chariots of the Lord, the Maracabs, the swift vehicles, and they're going to bring judgment, as well as Yahushua when he comes back. He's not going to meet you as a man, according to Isaiah 47. So that is why we went into this one, Zechariah. And I will bring forth, saith the Lord, the host, and it shall enter unto the house of the thief. Let's bring another one out, going in about the eyes of the Lord. The eyes of the Lord. Proverbs chapters 15:3 says, the eyes of the Lord are on every place, beholding the evil and the good. The eyes of the Lord upon every place, beholding the evil and the good. And the eyes of the chariots of the Lord. All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai. Ba'ashem Rakakodash. We've got another one. Chronicles chapter 16. All more on the eyes of the Lord. And 9 says, for the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth, to show himself strong in behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him. Wherein thou hast done foolishly, therefore from henceforth thou shalt have wars. For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the earth. Right, so the eyes of the Lord, once again, the eyes of the Lord are his eyes, the chariots, to show himself strong in behalf of them whose heart is perfect. And there's a case also in Elijah and Elisha, right? Those two strongly, highly favored men, full of Holy Spirit, where there was their back was against the wall, or they thought their back was against the wall with the army of Assyrians. they thought they were surrounded. But when Elijah told Elisha to open your eyes, or the Most High opened Elisha's eyes, and once he opened his eyes, he saw them, the myriads of hosts of angels. So this is what we're talking about here. Yeah, the eyes of the Lord, yeah, are strong throughout the whole earth to show himself strong in behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him. So he delivered Elijah and Elisha out of their situation with the army of Assyrians. He threw them into blindness. So right now, this is what's taking place. They're shook. They're shook. These people are very shook. They're very intimidated. They're very nervous because they know what they've done to the so-called black people. They know that they still have us in their possession. And just like in the time of the Egyptians with Moses, they're withholding. They're digging their heels in. Their heart is proud. And they're not letting us go. Just like Pharaoh. They're not letting us go. So the Most High is going to have to send in the chariots. Send in the chariots. The eyes of the Lord. To bring judgment on them. So, the Wada to your Bashim Shaf put the Spirit upon me once again. To do this video. Zechariah 5:8, 5:4. And I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts. And it shall enter unto the house of the thief. You're intimidated. You've seen the chariots, the sizes of them, the colors, the power, or you've seen a glimpse of it, as you say, within 50 feet. And this is the former Pentagon intelligence. So he has a lot of they've seen them, man, with their telescopes, their powerful telescopes, what they got, technology that we haven't come close to seeing, but we've seen them with our own eyes. And even if I'll say this too. Just seeing them, me seeing them with my own eyes, whether I've done a video on them, as I used to do, film them, or I just see them with my bare eyes. That's enough. That's enough to, because the scripture says that he's strong in behalf of those whose heart is complete towards him. So that will, what's the word? Empower you, just seeing them with your bare eyes. And when I see them, I just walk in the house. Sometimes I walk in the house and the only thing I can do is just burst out laughing. So if that empowers me, right? Imagine what that does to them when they've seen them within 50 feet. And I've seen them up in the sky so far. Because like I did say, they are gonna start to reveal themselves. And that's what's happening. So the water, once again, to Yahweh Shai, the house of David is rising, and everything the wicked have done to us, past, present, and future, is falling upon their own head.
One other option. It's someone or something else.
Are these 3 videos the only videos that you know of that the United States government has that shows unidentified aerial phenomenon?
No, absolutely not. These are probably some of the least compelling videos. In some cases, we've seen these things 50 feet away from the cockpit.
And when you're talking about something that is 50 feet away, I mean, what could they tell from being 50 feet away?
With all due respect, Gotti, I no longer work for the United States government.
Nah, he has to backtrack on that. He can't say too much. He has to backtrack on that. But once you've seen him within 50 feet, you are shook. The angels of the Lord, the chariots, the UFOs, the UAPs, our big brothers are coming back. They're revealing themselves. They're coming back to collect Yahshua Allah, the Prince of the Power. They're coming back to collect. They're revealing themselves. Shalom, on to the next.